Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello Braddock.
I'm Amelia Bello Braddock, and today, EPCOT Food Wine Festival headliners coming soon, new Magic Moment photo sessions at Magic Kingdom, and some specialty entertainment at Disney's California Adventure.
And yes, as we kick off this week's episode, we're halfway through the annual pass. I just want to revisit that for a second because you may have heard that the debacle we went through with the advance annual passes, we did end up getting one, but the systems were a nightmare on April 13th. So depending on when you're listening to this show, April 20th is the next date. So good luck to everyone. I only have one tip based on my experience. If the systems are not doing well on April 20th, if you get passes in your cart and you start running into the issues as we did, it took 2.5 hours ultimately for me personally, but do not remove them from your cart and start again, because when that happened, people were thrown into queues and all sorts of things. I kept them in my cart and just kept trying to check out.
Even if you think you need to open another tab, just make sure you have them in your cart, because at the end of the day, that will help.
Yeah, so for me personally, that's what did it for us. So good luck to everyone on the 20th. That is my one tip from going through the April 13th episode.
And just hope Ticketmaster's not running it.
Yeah, that was the joke of that day. All right, here we go. EPCOT Food and Wine coming back this year. And there's some pretty cool stuff. So first, let's start with the dates.
So first off, we have from July 27th to November 18th. Depending on when you attend, the festival will be different.
Yeah, that's what's sort of cool this year. So there's still the 25 marketplaces with lots of returning favorites, but there are a few new things and new festival highlights, and one I think is pretty cool. But first, let's start with the Emile's Fromage Montage. Would you want to go on this?
Yes, of course I would.
This one,
I would accompany you and give you all the ones I don't want, but I would like to try.
If you like, in fact, we're going to do this. I can't remember specifically if this one was there last year or not, or in any previous years. And
I
if
believe
it was,
they had something similar.
We did not do it. Well, you might be thinking of the cookie stroll at Christmas.
No, that's different.
All right. So in this one, you try any 5 cheeses that are listed in the festival passport that you get. Collect the stamps, of course, and then head to Shimmering Sips after you get 5, and you get a free sweet treat. Sometimes the free things are not that great.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sometimes they are. So
now you have to wait and see reviews if it's worth it. But, sometimes they might be good, and hopefully the cheeses will be good. We also have Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Seek.
Hide and Squeak.
Ooh, which is, of course, a Ratatouille-inspired adventure where you search for Remy all throughout World Showcase and the global marketplace.
Yeah, and this, I think, is more of one of their little scavenger hunt type things. There's no prize at the end, but it is fun for kids and adults alike if you like doing those. And some of those are pretty good.
I cannot wait to have kids so that I can do all of these things and not look weird.
And they talk about how the festival will be changing throughout the whole festival period. And this third one is a perfect example of that. It's pretty cool.
Yes, so just in time for Halloween, you can take part in Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit, which is a pumpkin scavenger hunt running from September 29th through October 31st. So an actual Halloween season with this one. But this sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, so that's like a month and basically 1 month. That'll run the months leading up to Halloween, starting at the end of September. So I do like how, since the festival was never in the summer before COVID, right? It always started in the fall, sort of after everyone was back in school. When they came back from COVID, they moved it into the summer. And I like now how they're adapting it and sort of changing it as they go, changing the food, adding little things at different parts.
They've got some aces up their sleeve on the tail end of it there. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and if you're a Florida resident, this will make you come back more frequently, or might.
Especially because it's pretty much the tail end of summer, so it's summery into fall, but it looks pretty exciting this year, so I can't wait to be there and try it.
And of course, Eat to the Beat concerts will be back. No bands have been announced yet, but we'll keep you posted when they are, and we'll see how this year shapes up versus last year. Last year wasn't too bad. All right. Capture your moment photo sessions. Have you done one? Let us know if you have on social media, Twitter or Instagram primarily, also Facebook, because I'm wondering about these things personally. We have not done one. and I'll say that right up front. They're adding some new locations in Magic Kingdom. So maybe this will make you want to take part, maybe not.
Yeah, it's interesting. So this is a 20-minute personalized photo session with a Disney PhotoPass photographer. In any Disney World park you choose, they're adding more locations at Magic specifically.
But they have certain locations in each park. So here's the thing about these. As you say, so they're $100 basically. That does not include the photos. And that's because a lot of people have PhotoPass. So if you have PhotoPass in any way, shape, or form with your annual pass or on your tickets, you get the photos for free. But it's 20 minutes with a PhotoPass photographer. You're not allowed to wear wedding outfits, so you can't make it. You can't make it your wedding photos or stuff like that. 20 minutes is pretty quick.
Yeah, I almost feel like if they did $300 an hour, which would be the same rate, that I could kind of get behind. But $100 for 20 minutes just seems really rushed.
And the thing is, like with any PhotoPass photographer, because that's who they are.
That's the question. Is it the good PhotoPass photographers?
It's a roll of the dice. So some of them are great, really good, and spend a lot of time. Like there's sometimes I've been frustrated waiting because the person's spending so much time with the person in front of you. But really, that's the kind of attention to detail you want from one of these photographers. I've seen a lot of people who've done this online commenting about how it was a waste of money because they had the not so good PhotoPass photographer.
Yeah,
so
because we've definitely experienced some of those.
Yeah, we've had both, not doing this, but just with regular PhotoPass photos. I mean, sometimes you can literally take better pictures yourself. Sometimes they're really good.
It makes a lot more of a difference than you think. Just having a good camera doesn't necessarily guarantee good photos.
Yeah, it's all in the composition and the person's sort of awareness of lighting, etc. Anyway, so bear that in mind if you want to book one. They can be good, but they're not guaranteed good based on what I was just talking about. So Magic Kingdom always had these on Main Street, USA, and sort of in front of Cinderella Castle. But now, starting on May 1st, they're expanding it into Fantasyland, and they have a bunch of new locations.
Yes. So I actually would love nice photos in some of these, so definitely share photos if you have them. You can now take photos at the back of Cinderella Castle, Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, Rapunzel's Tower, Prince Eric's Castle, Storybrooke Circus, Bella Maurice's Cottage, outside the Beast Castle, and around Mad Tea Party, and more.
Yeah, so there's a ton of new spots. So remember, though, you only have 20 minutes. So, it's not like you can go to all of these.
It's like those YouTube 10-minute photo challenges.
And what they say is you're guaranteed one location. Really? You can't guarantee less than one, but I just find that funny. But not more than one. But if you are quick, they will accommodate more than one within your 20 minutes.
Yes.
It depends on, if there's a group of 8 of you, which I believe
these are up to 8 guests, yes.
Yeah, so that's going to take longer just setting, especially if you have little kids who don't want to be in the picture and all that stuff. But you can be quick. So what happens is for these new ones, you meet at Sir Mickey's, the little shop behind the castle on the right if you're coming out of the castle, and you meet your photographer there, and there are some props and things they'll have that you can pick out. And then if you want to go to the carousel and then Rapunzel's Tower, that's not that far, but if you want to go all the way to Prince Eric's Castle, that's a bit of a hike, so that's going to burn up some of your time. They have also said, well, it's not official, they'll let you do Haunted Mansion and Liberty Square area.
Ooh.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so you must ask your photographer, do a little bit of research before. Don't just walk in there knowing nothing. So
and figure
check
out where
our
you
show
want to
notes.
go.
This will all be there.
Yeah, so you can dress accordingly too, because you want to fit the theme.
Yeah, so there you go. Some cool new locations. And again, this starts on May 1st. You do have to book these in advance just to be safe.
Yes.
So
booking begins on April 24th.
Yeah, and they offer it daily. You can do it 60 days in advance. They're not guaranteed, but they're recommended. And they do have a limited number of same-day reservations. So if you wake up, you're feeling like you're looking good, you want to do that photo shoot.
Have a good hair day, everyone's in a good mood, got dressed on time.
You go to My Disney Experience app and see if you can get one, just like trying to get anything else on the same day.
And you roll the Disney dice. If you want to do a bippity-boppity boutique before your Capture Your Moment session in Fantasyland, Disney does recommend booking a photo session to begin at least 2 hours after the start of the boutique time, which is, I guess, just a safe buffer.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're not stressing out in the boutique because you're time is coming up. So if you want to get your little ones
Yeah.
dolled up or little guys looking good before
That's
it.
true. Because while the Bippity Boppity Boutique does capture the same magic, it is not quite as quick as the fairy godmother's
Yeah,
wand.
and you don't want them to rush when they're doing your
Exactly.
makeover.
Exactly.
All right, and some other good news. Star Tours. Hey, they're finally making some new Star Tours films and adventures. It won't be coming
Thank
out till
goodness for that.
2024, but something to look forward to.
Because I know they have, now feel the finger quotes here, 50 plus different adventures, but I'm telling you, I have seen the same clip in almost every single
what
ride.
I've realized?
I know it's a different story, but I've seen the same clip every single
And
time
what we
without
know,
fail.
what you realize over the years is, yeah, there's 50, but I have a feeling at one ride has 8 of those, right? They're little segments. So it's not like there's 50.
Oh, you think it's 50 different? I thought it was 50 different combinations.
No, I think there's 50 different components. And one ride
I can't tell which is worse.
You know what I mean? Well, one ride has 6.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes you go, oh, I know this beginning. And then that little part, you go underwater. Oh, we didn't go underwater before. That sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what
Or you have different members of the resistance coming to tell you.
Yeah, it's like
X.
it's modular. So yeah, there's 50, but really you can see the same one 6 times, even though one thing is different. So anyway, it feels more familiar than it sounds it should with 50.
Well, of
is what we're
course.
getting at.
They're using their magical language.
But anyway, both Disneyland and Disney World versions will have new shows next year. So
yeah,
that's,
well,
that's
all the
something to
Star
look
Wars
forward to.
content they're putting on
they
Disney
got
Plus.
lots of new stuff. So maybe The Mandalorian will be in there. Baby Yoda, I'm pretty sure they're going to have. So
maybe you go back in
Or
time and little
Grogu, if you
Leia's
prefer.
No.
Yeah,
It's
no,
Baby Yoda.
It's Baby Yoda.
It's Baby Yoda. No, thank you. No comment.
All right, and something we never really thought would happen is actually happening.
I think so many people want this, even if they don't know that they do. Rogers the Musical is to premiere on June 30th for a limited time at Disney's California Adventure Park. So if you haven't already, book your trip.
And if you haven't already, watch the first episode of Hawkeye just to see this, because that's where it all started. It was a joke.
The first or the final?
It was the first episode of Hawkeye. And that's how the whole series opens. He's walking into the theater and he's sort of making fun of it. And everybody really got caught on to that song.
It's a very catchy song. I will admit.
Which is what?
Save the
song?
City.
Yeah, so they're actually doing this in real life at Disney California Adventure Park starting on June 30th of this year. I don't know if we're going to get there in time, so I can't wait to hear how it goes.
Yes, so music will include Save the City from the show, as well as Star Spangled Man from the film, Captain America, the original, and 5 original songs made specifically for Rogers the Musical.
Yeah, it's sort of fun. So, obviously there's singers and dancers, just like in the show, telling the story of Steve Rogers' story with Peggy Carter, Nick Fury, and select members of the Avengers.
Yes, how could you do it without them?
Yeah, it takes you on Steve's journey from his beginnings to the Avengers. So I just think this is really, really cool. I'm glad they did it.
Yep. And so this is a 30-minute show that takes place from Tuesday through Saturday most weeks, and they will give more details as the dates draw sooner.
Yeah, so good. That's pretty good. Half hour is a good length. That's sort of how long
it reminds me kind of the Ariel musical.
Yeah, or the
Voyage.
Beauty and the Beast one at Hollywood Studios. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm very excited about this, and I cannot wait.
Interesting, though, no Sunday or Monday. So Tuesday
Well,
through
you got to give
Saturday.
the performers some time to rest. It is.
Oh, is that why?
I don't know. You'd figure.
And then finally this week in the news, they are dripping out more details about Tiana's Bayou adventure.
Yes, they're slowly telling us what is what, and new ride renderings were released by Disney, which show Mama Odie joking with guests along the journey after a special display of her magic, they said.
Yes, Mama Odie, if you don't know, is the 200-year-old Bayou fairy godmother. She's eccentric. She has a little snake friend named Juju, and she is wise but all-knowing, and throughout the adventure, she will be appearing. And you know what's really cool?
The actress who voiced Mama Odie in The Princess and the Frog, Jennifer Lewis, is returning to her role for this attraction.
Yeah, I like when they, like they have the real Guardians in Cosmic Rewind and stuff.
It makes
like
it authentic and inviting and more immersive, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, so, I mean, when I was first reading about this, it sounded like it was going to be a real person joking with you, but I guess she's just talking to you as an animatronic.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be cool if they had a real actress? Quick story. We were on the new train in March, or not the new train, but the Walt Disney World Railroad
The newly reopened.
And we went by the Bayou Adventure, Splash Mountain, under construction. The train stops there at the station, of course. And I thought, it was all roped off and says coming soon. And I thought, you know what they should have? Because the train stops there. They should have had Tiana with like a construction hat on, because it's her place, Tiana's place, just sort of walking by and waving at the train as if she's overseeing the construction. That's the kind of Disney magic I want to see.
Or at the very least, just like paint a Tiana, like a silhouette of Tiana inside the ride or something.
Yeah, they could have done a little
Or like
bit.
leave a construction hat over there that says property of Tiana on it. That would be cool.
Anyway, we're always thinking of our Imagineering friends and what they could do
and
to
I'm
make it
sure
cooler
they have
for
a lot
us.
on their minds.
Yeah. But I thought, it would
Yes.
have been neat if Tiana walked by and waved, just casually waved, didn't say anything, had a construction hat on and maybe a tool belt, or a clipboard or something. She's overseeing construction.
And to make room for this ride, the Splash Mountain at Disneyland Park will close on May 31st, 2023.
Yeah, so you
just
guys
a few months
out
after
west
World.
there have been luckier than we have. This is it. You are now on the clock. If you want to ride
So get in
Splash
your rides.
one last time before it becomes the Bayou Adventure. All right, that is the news for this week. And we will see you again next week with more Disney travel news. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. And as always, have a magical day.
Bye-bye.